There's no moment of triumph in this song. There's no hook, there's no relief, it's just pain. And yet somehow, without a chorus at all, this song managed to go to number 1 and was a massive hit. And something about the almost oddly upbeat feel mixed with like the horribly sad harmony and lyrics, the combination just creates this intoxicatingly devastating song.
I promise myself to treat myself and visit a nearby tower.
Yeah.
Climbing to the top, will throw myself off in an effort to make clear to who.
Wait, okay, before we dig into this, what is this underlying scrolling text? Dressed like a school. Wow.
Standing in the lurch at a church where people are saying, my God, that's tough. She stood him up. No point in us remaining. We may as well go home as I did on my own, alone again. Naturally.
Okay. There is so much just in this first verse, I guess. Yet, that's the whole song. There is no chorus. We'll get into kind of the structure of the song, but it's just fascinating the way that it's constructed. Yet, I've almost never heard a song that flows as well as this one does. I mean, harmonically, every single chord change just perfectly leads from one point to the next. And it feels like it just keeps getting sadder and sadder. And of course, the lyrics, obviously, we're going to talk more about the harmony, but the lyrics are just devastating is really the only word. And it almost just keeps getting worse. Like it doesn't let up at all. This is such a brilliantly written song. And I think the fact that it went to number 1 the way that it did is just an indication of how people connected their own inner pain and whatever trauma people are carrying. They just connected it to this song. And because it sat at number 1, I think for like 6 weeks or something like that on the Billboard charts in 1972. And like, it's no surprise because it's just such a well-written song. But I mean, it's just so clear that this really spoke to people. And the lyrics, yes, that's a huge part of it. But let me show you why I think the harmony had just as much of a hand in this. Check out the way that this is constructed. All right, so first of all, we're in the key of G flat, which it's not necessarily odd. It's just not always the key that people pick. But yeah, okay, we're in G flat. Here we get a B flat minor 7 chord. So this is a really nice... there's a couple different ways to do this motion. One could just be leave it on G flat and just make it major 7, right? But when we move the root note, it really sets up this like, oh, okay, these are very similar sounds, right? All the same notes kind of still work, even though we're going from G flat major to B flat minor. So this is a really, it's kind of telling us, all right, we're going to be going somewhere, maybe a little melancholy. And then, boy, do we just get confirmation of that with the next chord change. Right there, we get a D flat minor 7. Now, I think it's interesting that we hear so many minor 7ths in this, right? Because sometimes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about why this is, but minor 7ths aren't always the thing to use here. I would almost... I guess the minor 7th works, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So we have these 3 chords to start. Oh, it's so beautiful. And then we're just like... And where do we go from there? Okay. This is when things start going like, wow, this is gonna be sad. Okay, because we go G flat, B flat, D flat minor. Okay. Now, by the way, if we're in the key of G flat, our D flat, which is our 5 chord, is not supposed to be minor. It's supposed to be major, right? So that is already a tactic to kind of turn things a little bit darker, a little more melancholy. But then we get this chord, followed by that chord. Now that right there, it's just a 2-5, okay? But where is it going? What type of 2-5 is it? It leads us to A flat minor. Now I want you to notice the way that it did that. A 2-5-1 we typically think of as, here we're going to talk about A flat, because that's where we're heading in this particular context. So the 2 is B flat, and the 5 is E flat, and it leads us here. Now in a very standard context of a 2-5-1, we might expect to hear something like this. Even if we were going to land on A flat minor, we might still hear. That would work fine as well, but we don't hear that here. We get a change on our B flat chord. Instead of B flat minor 7, we get this sound. What a devastatingly sad sound that is. This is B flat half diminished, or for those of you who don't think half diminished exists, B flat minor 7 with a flat 5, right? We've taken our B flat minor 7, and we've taken the 5th and made it flat. So we get B flat minor 7 flat 5, leading to E flat dominant. Now, we've done something to this as well. That note that we just used in B flat, that is our flat 5, becomes the flat 9 in our E flat chord. There's E flat dominant, and we can add the 9. It's the same note, right? We've taken our 5th, made it flat, and then keep that note for the E flat, and it becomes the flat 9, all right? That's why that transition works so well, and it just really wants to lead to a minor chord. Sometimes we call that like a minor 2-5, right? We know we're gonna use that half diminished or that minor 7 flat 5 chord leading to the 5, which if we carry over that note, we can just make it a flat 9 chord, leading to A flat minor. And that's exactly what we do. Now, think about how odd that would be if we did a minor 2-5 leading to a major. You could do it, but it would sound like this. It's a little bit of a surprise in that context. We're not really expecting it. You can use it, and in fact, you may want to use it if you're trying to create, a false expectation, but it really wants to resolve to an A flat minor chord, and listen to exactly how we use it.
Promise myself to treat myself and visit a nearby tower, and climbing to the top.
We use our minor 7th, which usually tells us we're going somewhere new.
Will throw myself
Oh!
in an
Notice what we just did. We took our A flat minor 7 and we took its 5th and we made it flat. We now have an A flat minor 7 with a flat 5. So we've used a B flat minor 7 with a flat 5, now an A flat minor 7 with a flat 5. Now when we first, I can't say FL, flat, flat, flat. When we first played this B flat minor 7 flat 5 chord, we pointed out how devastating this sounds. It's just such a sad sound, right? And that's because of its diminished nature, right? But it's not a full diminished chord, right? That would be full diminished. That's why we call it half diminished sometimes. And then the same chord here. They're just such sad chords, and we're using them all over the place. And we're only 20 seconds in. Oh! Oh my, okay. I'm gonna lose my mind. Sorry. Look, here's the thing. It's just so good. It's just so well written. Everything about this, and this is what I was saying, it flows so well into itself. Coming down from this D flat minor chord. Oh! Now this is what's happening here. Such a simple tool. We're gonna repeat the same note. We're gonna go like that 3 times, but each time we're gonna take our 5th and we're gonna raise it. Check that out. That creates an augmented chord. Now it goes up to the 6th. Where are we going, Gilbert O'Sullivan? Where are we going? Now this is a 5, setting up B flat minor. Yeah, but there's our minor 7 flat 5 chord again. Back to, so we use that same minor 2-5, B flat minor 7 flat 5 to E flat 7 with a flat 9. Now we're back to our A flat minor 7th. And we do this same thing again. I screwed it up. There's our minor 7 flat 5 in A flat. Back to the 1 chord. Now, that right there, that to me is so interesting, and it's the one moment in this verse, right, which is really like the verse-chorus combination, because there is no chorus on this song, which is a fascinating component about how it's constructed. But right there, that chord I think is so interesting because it's a brief moment of like, are we gonna get a happy ending? Because we're not using this E flat 7 with a flat 9. We're not using that. Now that, I think we'd all agree that is definitely sadder than an E flat 7 chord with a natural 9, as opposed to a flat 9. That's brighter, that's happier. So for a second, are we gonna get a happy ending? This is so devastating so far. He got left at the altar, he's gonna throw himself off a tower. Like, what is going on? Is this gonna end happily? We get this one moment of like, maybe? You know what I mean? It's literally saying like, maybe? I don't know, maybe that's just me. But then, oh, and we absolutely put a cap on it by going, now we use the flat 9. Of course, it's a different 2-5. We're now going A flat minor 7 to D flat minor 7. I'm sorry, D flat 7 with a flat 9 to resolve. And that creates that beautiful inner voice movement of absolutely gorgeous. And what a brilliantly crafted verse. This harmony is absolutely stunning. Now, for a brief moment, we get sort of a bridge, and that bridge kind of contains some stuff where you're like, is this gonna be any happier than it's been so far? And kind of, but then it just rips it away from you again.
It seems to me that there are more
Hey!
broken in
Oh, now we're in a bright place, except, ooh, never mind, no we're not.
left
Ooh,
unattended. What do we do?
whoa.
Do we do?
What just happened? Okay, let's take a look. We go to A major. There's our A flat half diminished or minor 7 flat 5 chord again. Oh, I remember this sound. We're gonna get this same movement that we got at the end of the main verse. Except no, we're not. We're gonna get that 2-5, but then randomly, we're gonna go back to A major. That's an odd resolution. Okay. We can do that, sure thing. We sit there for a second and then we go to E flat minor 7 flat 5. What? This resolution to D flat major 7 is one of the most unexpected in the entire song. It's one of the most beautiful, and yet, despite being such a bright, beautiful chord, there's nothing happy about this at all. How strange is that? And then we simply go 2-5 back to our main chord progression. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. We've outlined an absolutely devastatingly sad harmonic structure that is sad on its own. And we haven't even talked about the lyrics. When you just compile all these details together, it's no surprise that this is one of the saddest pop songs ever written. And yet, the whole time, we just kind of have this nice little groove going on. And it doesn't feel like it should be that sad. But it is. And it is largely in part because of one chord, the half diminished chord. It'll never stop being amazing to me about music, how something as small as one chord or just one chord quality can make such a difference and really just be the thing that it's built around. And now there's so many more tricks with that chord that we didn't talk about. In part, the fact that it's kind of just one of my favorite chords of all time. If you watch the channel, you know, the minor 4 chord. It really is just the minor 4 chord with a different bass note. That is something that we'll have to get into in another video because this one is just getting too long. But Gilbert O'Sullivan, you absolutely broke everyone's hearts, and you did it with, I think, one main chord quality. You used it all over the place, and it just absolutely made everyone cry. And if you go and you look at this video, the original version, only read the comments if you want to have a really bad day. They are heartfelt, and they are so meaningful. But boy, are they sad. And I think it's a perfect representation of why this song hit #1. Because people felt their own pain. They felt like they could express their own pain. And it was encapsulated in this song. It's just absolutely incredible. And it's one of the greatest pop songs ever written, and perhaps one of the saddest ever. But of course, I want to know your thoughts on it in the comments below. What songs do you think exist out there that are sadder than this? I can't think of too many, to be totally honest, but I wanted to cover a little bit of this today for you all. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.